Hello, this is Bilal, your economic instructor, and today we are going to do MCQs for demand and supply for the level A level. So let's get started. There are only 10 MCQs, but every MCQ is a bit conceptual, so we'll have a good time learning these concepts. Alright, so the first MCQ is Alright, the diagram shows the market for a normal good, and we can see that this is our equilibrium right here. What is likely to cause both demand and supply curve to shift to the right? Right, let's look at the options. The first option is a fall in the price of a good. Alright, whenever the prices change, neither would the demand nor would the supply shift, right? So this cannot be the answer. A rise in the price of a complementary good. Alright, so this is incorrect, because when the price of a complementary good increases, what happens? The demand for our product decreases and it would shift to the left. A rise in the price of a substitute. Alright, this is correct. Why? Because when a substitute is expensive, for example, if Coke increases its prices, automatically the demand would increase for Pepsi. And a fall in the price of raw material. So if the prices of raw material decrease, the cost of production would decrease and the profits would increase, hence the supply would also increase. So this is the right answer. The next point is the improvement in production techniques. Alright, this would increase the supply, and a fall in incomes of consumers. So if it's a normal good and incomes of consumers are falling, this means that the demand would also decrease. So the answer is B. Alright, let's move on to the next MCQ. A US study published in July 2014 warned teenagers to reduce the amount of fizzy drinks. Fizzy drinks, which means carbonated, which means Pepsi and Coke and stuff like that, they consume. One fizzy drink contains an adult's entire daily sugar allowance. Alright, so this is good to know. If advice were accepted, how might the effect be illustrated on demand and supply diagrams for fizzy drinks? Right. So what I'll do is I'll just make a diagram to make you people understand. So this is my demand, supply, dotted line price and quantity. Now if the fizzy drinks are being discouraged, the demand would decrease. So this is my demand D1, the quantity is Q1 and the price is P1. So this is how it would be affecting the market. The demand curve moves to the left. A and B seems to be the right answer, and there is a movement in the supply curve. The supply curve will not shift. Now the movement is going up or down, so the answer is going down, hence B is the right answer. We don't even need to look at the other options, but a movement only occurs when there's a change in price. So basically what happened, we are discouraged to drink fizzy drinks, the demand would decrease. This would reduce the prices, hence the quantity supplied will also decrease. Alright, let's move on to the third MCQ, which is the diagram shows the equilibrium price and quantity of good X. The initial equilibrium is shown by point E. Here is point E. What might cause the market equilibrium to move to point F? Now, this only means one thing, that the supply has shifted inwards. Sir, how do you know that the supply has shifted inwards? Can't there be any other thing? If the demand shifts, F would not be an equilibrium. And if the supply shift outwards, it won't be an equilibrium on F. So only way supply would decrease and it would create an equilibrium on point F. So decrease in cost of production, this is incorrect. Reason, when the cost of production decreases, the supply would increase. Decrease in demand, which means a shift inwards in demand, incorrect. Increase in the price of substitute, again incorrect. Reason, because this would shift the demand. And imposition of specific sales tax, so it's an indirect tax, and indirect tax would shift the demand curve inwards. So D is the right answer. Alright, now waffle MCQ. This is a waffle MCQ. If you look at the graph, All right. Now this is interesting, and this is there is a way to solve these MCQs. The diagram shows D1 and S1 original supply curve for fast food in an economy. Point X is the original equilibrium. So all right, so this is my initial demand, this is my initial supply, and this is my initial equilibrium. What would be the new equilibrium following a tax is imposed on fast food? All right, if a tax is imposed, we know that the supply would shift. So this is S2. And a fall in real incomes. Fall in incomes, income decreases, the demand would decrease for normal goods and the demand would increase for inferior good. Now we need to see that fast food is an inferior good. So the demand would actually increase. Once we have identified the new demand and supply curves, which is S2 and D2, I have circled them with red. We will see which equilibrium is established. So we can see point A has been established. All right. So the answer is A. All right. So let's move on to the next MCQ. All right. Let's move on to the next MCQ. A free market is in disequilibrium with a shortage of a product, which means that the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied, right? Does the market move towards equilibrium? What will happen to the price? We all know whenever there's a shortage, the prices would increase, the quantity demanded would decrease, and the quantity supplied would increase. So it's a basic simple concept. So the answer would be increase in price, decrease in quantity demanded, and increase in quantity supplied. The sixth MCQ is a bit technical because of the way it has been asked, and it is usually asked. All right, so it's an equation. We don't need to get worried. It's pretty simple. Let's do the maths. A supply curve is represented by the equation. Quantity supplied is equal to 10 plus 5p, where p is the price. Which price rise would cause the quantity supplied to double? Okay, now we have all the options given down below. The first thing is we need to calculate for 1, and then we need to calculate for 2. What do I mean by that? We need to replace P with 1 and then with 2. So quantity supplied is equal to 10 plus 5P. P means price. So first we use price 1 and we solve it, we get the answer 15. I'll make a small schedule over here. Price is 1, the quantity supplied is 15, right? Now if the prices were 2, 5 twos are 10 plus 10, which gives me what? 20. So it hasn't doubled. And so on and so forth. For the price being 3 and 4, we can calculate it. Let's say we calculate for price 4. All right, 4 5s are 20 plus 10, 30. So when the price is 4, it is quantity supplied is 30. So when we have the price 1, the quantity supplied is 15, and when the price is 4, the quantity supplied is 30, which means that it has doubled. So if we move the price from 1 to 4, the quantity supplied will double. That is the right answer, which is C. Moving on to the next MCQ, which is another equation. The equation for quantity demanded for a product is 400 minus 20p. The quantity supplied is given by QS is equal to 100 plus 40p. Now, the first thing is, now this is a technical MCQ, right? Whenever such MCQs are given and there has been a mention of equilibrium, so here, so we need to calculate the equilibrium first, right? Or a simple way is to calculate the equilibrium is quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. So we'll replace the equation of quantity demanded, which is 400 minus 20p is equal to 100 plus 40p. All right, now if we solve the equation further, what are we going to get? We're going to get The 100 would go there, minus, and 20 would go here and plus, right? So the equation would be, I don't have space, I'll just use this place. 400 minus 20p is equal to 100 plus 40p. It becomes 400 minus 100 is equal to 40p plus 20p. If we solve the equation, 300 is equal to 60p. 60 goes there and divides itself. Hence, we get 300 divided by 60, which is equal to p. 5 is equal to p. This means that the equilibrium price is 5. So we know if the prices rise from 5, if the prices are 5, first of all, we know that it's an equilibrium. The market will move from equilibrium. So A or B can be the right answer, because initially at price 5 the market is at equilibrium. If the prices increase to 6, we can make a diagram and look at this. This is my demand and supply, 5, and if I increase the prices, I know my quantity demanded is going to be less than my quantity supplied, which means that there is a surplus. The quantity supplied is greater. So the answer is B. All right. Now this was a difficult MCQ. I would want you to solve it yourself. Moving on. Question number 8. The diagram shows the market for coca, which is a normal good. Initially, market is in equilibrium at P E. Quantity is QE. All right, so we get to know which sequence of event 1 followed by event 2 must have occurred in order to move to the new equilibrium X. So we know that the demand has increased and the supply has decreased. If there has been a decline in coca popularity, the demand should decrease. So this cannot be the answer. A decrease in disposable income. So if it's a normal good and the income is decreasing, we know that the demand would decrease. So this cannot be the answer. An increase in disposable income. This is correct. A successful advertisement campaign by coca producers. So if there has been a successful advertisement campaign, the demand for chocolates would increase. So C and D are correct. Let's look event number 2. We need to see how the supply would decrease. An increase in the number of coca producers. This is correct. If we increase the number of coca producers, the supply would increase. We want the supply to decrease. Hence, D is the right answer. An increase in taxation. The supply would shift out inwards. Now, I need you to ensure this. Majority of the times the question which includes taxes is indirect taxes, and indirect taxes always affect supply. Keep this in your mind. Students usually mess this up. 9th MCQ. Good X and Y are complements and have an upward sloping curve. What will be an effect on the equilibrium price and quantity of X for an increase in the supply of good Y? All right, let's make a diagram for good Y. Demand, supply, dotted line P and Q. This is basically quantity of Y, right? Let's increase the supply. When the supply increases, the prices would decrease and the quantity would increase. Now, when the price of Y decreases, the demand for X would increase because they are both complements. Let's assume Y is cinema. Cinema prices have decreased. So X is popcorn. When the price of cinema decreases, the demand for popcorn will increase. When the demand of popcorn increases, we can make a diagram, demand and supply, P and Q. Increasing the demand will give us what? The quantity has increased and the prices have increased as well. So D is the right answer. Easy. One thing a student lacks is they don't make diagrams when solving MCQs. You need to make those diagrams or else it's all ineffective. Okay, again a waffle MCQ. In Egypt, In 2014, Egypt reduced subsidies on fossil fuels such as gasoline and diesel. The diagram shows the initial equilibrium at point X. So this is point X, we are over here, and this. Alright, what will be the new equilibrium after reduction of subsidies? We know when subsidies are reduced, the supply would decrease inwards. So this will be my new supply curve, and the demand would remain the same. So this will be a movement at point B. So B would be my right answer. I hope you got something to learn out of this video. Keep practicing and ace your tests and papers. Goodbye. Thank you.